Hi, I'm Ginny Rosenkrantz with the University of Maryland Extension. And we are here at the Mac Therapy Garden. Mac is Maintaining Active Citizens. And this is the therapy garden where people could come in and touch and smell all the different wonderful perennials that we have. And June is a beautiful month for a lot of the perennials. But this garden is designed to have color in the spring, in the summer, and in the fall. It's supposed to attract butterflies and hummingbirds and all kinds of wonderful little pollinators. And today we are going to go ahead and show you the garden, and we're also going to show you how you can put together a wonderful garden water feature like this. This is a pondless waterfall, and it's a pottery urn that is sitting on a wonderful pondless pond, which I think is really kind of cool, and it's got river rock around it, and it's a lot of fun. So join me coming up next from Delmarva Gardens right here on Pack 14. I'm sitting here in this beautiful garden. It's a therapy garden at the Mac Center, and it was designed by the Maryland Master Gardeners. I should say designed, planted, and cared for by the Maryland Master Gardeners. The Master Gardeners in Maryland are wonderful people. They have 40 hours of education that we provide, the University of Maryland provides, and then they share all their knowledge with the general public on how to take care of plants, how to fertilize properly, ideas on how to save the bay, and all that kind of stuff. But I would love to share with you what they've done with this wonderful garden. It started out as a bare patch of ground, and what we've done is we've gone ahead and gotten lots of volunteers. We had the Boy Scouts do these marvelous benches. We had somebody do this beautiful figure-8 walk, and the nice thing about the figure-8 walk is that if you are walking in a figure-8, you never get lost, which is really kind of impressive. One of the things that we have here in the figure-8, we have a wonderful herb garden, and the staff here, the chefs here, actually use the herbs to do their cooking. We have this is oregano here, and it's in bloom, which is kind of cool. And we have fennel, which is going to be a beautiful fountain when it grows up a little higher. Behind me we have parsley from last year. Notice the parsley is in full bloom, and we're not going to cut it down yet because we want to leave some of this for the caterpillars and the butterflies to enjoy. But these are also going to go to seed, and then we'll always have parsley, which is really nice. The other thing we have is rosemary. Now there's two different kinds of rosemary. This is what they call procumbent rosemary, and it's perfect because it's going to make a nice low mound, and it's going to fill this area without taking over the entire garden. The upright rosemary can get to be as tall as I am, and that's not necessary. What's nice about this is that the people who work here and the people who are here in the therapy garden can come by and touch the herbs and smell their fingers, and fragrance is a real wonderful thing. It brings back really good memories of when you were younger. The other thing we have, of course, is thyme. Yeah, I know you always have thyme too, but I actually have thyme in my garden. Come on over, let me show you what it looks like. Thyme is a plant that likes it to be high and dry and very, very dry. And this is the perfect place for it because anytime you have a landscape corner where it comes to a peak like that, there's very little water that gets in there. So this is all the thyme right now. It is in full bloom. The bees absolutely love it. And again, this is very, very edible and lots of fun. So it's wonderful that the chefs can use it too, and the people who are here can just go ahead and pet it and just enjoy the fragrance. We also have two raised benches that are really nice. Come on over here, take a look. This one right here has got sage, and this is a nice plant. It blooms pretty much all summer, and the pansies will be replaced. Well, they've already been replaced with marigolds. They're going to go ahead and grow until they're pretty much done. Pansies are beautiful in the springtime, but once the temperature gets hot, well, you can see how they're starting to dry out a little bit. So this is a raised bed for the flowers, and over here we've already got some tomato plants in here. And this is wonderful because the folks that work here and the folks that are here can go ahead and swing by the raised bed, whether they're walking or have a walker or are in a wheelchair, and they can go ahead and access all this wonderful flowers and fruit. It's so perfect. And these were donated also, which is wonderful. We have lots of flowers through here. We have the butterfly bush. That was the first plant that was planted in the therapy garden. And then we're covered with a lot of beautiful perennials that give spring, summer, and fall color. Right now we have some summer color, if you notice, with this beautiful Shasta daisies. And we actually have some little yellow flowers right here. Aren't they pretty? This is St. John's wort. Behind it we have some beautiful daylilies. And right in front we have some beautiful phlox. Now this is going to bloom later on in the summertime, so as will the butterfly bush. We also have a lot of early spring blooming things that are very, very low growing, and that's what a lot of spring bloomers are, low growing. So we have them as a ground cover right over here. We have these guys, which are phlox subutella or moss phlox, and in front of them we have a little bit of candy tuft. So they're going to grow and make them nice matte and make weeding a lot easier. We even have one little flower left. So you can see that they're, one of the common names of this is moss pinks, and these are definitely pink. Aren't they beautiful? These guys give a lot of bloom. They give about a month and a half of flowers, which is nice. Plus these are evergreen, so even in the wintertime, this garden looks really pretty. We also have some beautiful daylilies in the background, and one of the things that we tried to do when we designed this garden is to throw in daylilies that have a tendency to bloom more than once a season. All perennials have at least one period of bloom, and plant breeders just cannot help themselves. If they can get a plant to bloom more than once, they will do everything they can to create a plant that blooms more than once. And now they're coming up with larger daylilies and more colors, and that's what we have over there. Come on over to another side of the garden, where we have some shady plants. This is the shady side of the building, and in order to go ahead and have a little bit of color still, we went ahead with these beautiful ferns. These are the ghost ferns, so they've got a little bit of white, green, and a little bit of red in them. And we picked up the red and the white idea with the different coral bells, which are absolutely gorgeous. These are silver coral bells, and they've got sort of a silver and red color with little teeny flowers. Then we also pick up the green over here with hosta, and then we pick up the green and white again with the false Solomon seal. So that's our little shady garden, which is nice because this part of the building actually gives the entire garden right here in the shade, making it nice to sit on the bench because you're sitting in the shade. We also have a sunny bird garden. Let me go ahead and show you this one. Well, right in the center of the other part of the figure eight is this beautiful lavender garden. Lavender, the lavender flowers are very fragrant, but what's nice is that the lavender foliage is fragrant and it is evergreen. So this is a fragrant plant 12 months out of the year, which is so perfect. So this is a very sunny garden, and it attracts a lot of the birds and the bees and that kind of wonderful thing. Here we have a trellis that was built so that we could go ahead and hide the air conditioning unit, and we have growing on it a native honeysuckle. This is the golden throat ruby honeysuckle, beautiful. It doesn't really have a fragrance. You can tell the ones that are natives because they don't have a fragrance, but the flowers are spectacular, and the hummingbirds will be here, and the hummingbirds and butterflies adore these. Then we have a really cool plant. This is Laetris. It blooms from the top down. It's the only perennial that I know that actually blooms from the top down, and it's just about ready to burst into bloom. We have Coreopsis. These are really pretty. These are threadleaf Coreopsis, little bright sunny flowers, and they'll bloom for about a month. So all of June and into July. So lovely and light and airy, and the butterflies love them. And behind them, as almost a barrier to what's going on behind, is Joe Pye weed. And this, you can see the flowers are just beginning right here. This is a fall blooming or a late summer blooming plant, and the butterflies absolutely adore it. So this is the bird and the butterfly garden right here. And you can see that we've got sun and shade, we've got herbs and lavender. One thing that we decided to do, though, is we needed to have a water feature. So join me as we try to put this water feature together. This is what they call a pondless water feature. And it's really handy for people who don't want to deal with pond, fish, plants, the algae, scummy stuff. They just want the water feature without all the hassles. So what you have is you have this huge pond reservoir that is going to go in the ground. Now, knowing how I am and not knowing how deep the compacted soil is, I'm going to be digging it out, but probably not all the way. And it doesn't have to be all the way. Ideally, if it's all the way down to the ground, perfect. And if it's not, you know, sometimes you can go ahead and do some edging. What happens is you've got this hose right here that's connected to the pump, which is the pump right here, and here's the filter. So the filter pulls in all the impurities that you hope you don't get. And the pump hose comes through here, goes into this. This sits here, if I can get it. There we go. And then this is going to connect to the actual pump mechanism that's going to go into the pondless water feature. So I'm going to go ahead and start digging out the hole so we can go ahead and place this in the ground. You guys can dig along too, you know. As you see, I've already gone ahead and started digging a hole. And one of the things I'm going to have to do is make it sure it's wide enough and deep enough. I haven't run into too much rock, which is really nice. I don't have a wheelbarrow, so I'm using a tarp to hold the soil so that I don't make a mess. It's always a good thing when you're working in somebody else's garden. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go all around and try to get it all level and measure it and then place it in and see how it looks. It's up there. There's another rock. One thing you want to remember when you're digging the holes is you want to make sure that you always dig so that there's a slight incline from the top, so it's actually wider at the top than it is in the bottom. And you want to always make sure that you try to get it level on the bottom. Now, I did not bring a level that was small enough to go in the hole, but I can eyeball it. The other thing is, if you find any stones or branches, it's always a good idea to remove those, because this is a strong, hard plastic, but you still don't want to have anything that's going to damage it. So, okay, I'm tromping it down. Let's hope this works. Okay. Well, the fit is good. Let's check out the level. I like to use a level this big so I can actually see if it's going to be the right level or not. Let's see. That's pretty good. It's a little bit high on that side. Sometimes it's a little high on one side. You need to kind of work with it. So this is, okay, when I do this, I can notice that this is the right size on this side, and it's a little low on this side. So I need to go ahead and fix that. Be right there. Okay, here's a rock. We need to get this out of here. Put that on the side. Okay, let's try it now. This should be the good one. That fits better. That looks good. Let's see on this side. Yep, right on the money. Excellent. So, okay, now that we have it leveled, we can go ahead and assemble the entire fountain and start filling it with water. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some water in there first to make sure it's settled, and maybe put half of the water in so that if there's a problem, I don't have to take the whole thing apart. One of the reasons why you want to put some water in it is you want to have a little bit of the heaviness that the water provides before you backfill. So now while that's filling up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and backfill along the edges with the soil so that it's not going to shift. That was not smart. Yes, I have a tendency to be a little sloppy. Okay. Okay, let's see. We've got it partially backfilled, and yes, it's still level. Excellent. Let's see about this side. Yes. Oh, that's good. If it's not level, then no matter what you do at the very end of it, it's always going to be draining somewhere, or water's going to be sloshing out. Not a good thing. This is good. Okay, now that we've got the pond partially filled with water, we're going to go ahead and put the pump in. And yes, some soil went in there, but that's why we have a filter. So here's the pump, and here's the filter. We'll put that in there. Make sure that the cord, the electrical cord, stays out. And it goes right there. Okay, move this out of the way. All right, now this part actually attaches to this part like that. But we need to put this into the large pottery urn first. But see how easy that is? You just put it in, push up, ta-da! Love it. We'll keep this out of the mud. Keep that out of the mud. Perfect. There we go. Bringing this here. Now we need to go ahead and put the cover over top. And this is the base. That it sits on. And this actually goes under here first. This is the fountain assembly, and as you see, this is the pipe, and it's just PVC on both sides, and it has an adjuster here, which when you turn it this way, it closes everything off, and then you can go ahead and have it partially open or completely closed, which probably wouldn't work too well. You have at the end, you have a metal flange, and then metal washer, I'm sorry, and then you have a rubber washer right there, and then you meet the rubber washer and the metal on the bottom. So this is going to go into the top of the fountain, and this will be at the bottom. So here we go. Okay, so now this is all screwed on tight. So we've got the plastic flange or the plastic washer, and then the metal washer, and then this is tight. You only want to do it hand tight. This is pottery, and I actually took this to one of the local garden centers, How Sweet It Is, and I had them go ahead and drill the hole so that I could go ahead and actually put the plumbing device in here, or the fountain device in here. And all I have to do now is connect it to this. So I'm going to get a little bit closer just to make it easier on me. Push that in, and there it is. Okay. The platform helps keep the fountain base steady, which is nice. Just snaps on like this. Okay, I think that's got one of these. Let's put this over here. There we go. Put this over here, here. There we go. Ready? And looks good. Woo! Okay, so that's amazing. Now that we've got the platform in place and the pot in place, let's make sure that this is still level. Oh, sometimes life is just very sweet. Yes. Okay, we're going to go ahead and fill up the container, and we're going to plug it in and see how it works. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill this basin. It's almost full to the top. And as you see, we've got a wonderful bubble here. But the more bubble you have, the more chances you have of the wind taking it off. I'm also trying to fill the pot totally with water too. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to see if I can go ahead and soften this a little bit. Let's see. There we go. That's a bubble. Probably not enough, but we'll see. That's the thing you can go ahead and do is you can play with it. When you have the ceramic urn filled with water and the base filled with water, then you can play more with how you want the bubbler to be up, to be soft. What we want to do is just make sure at least it overflows, because that's half the beauty of it, is having the water overflow off the urn. If you look down here, you can see that we have a couple of inches still to go with the water. Oh, here it comes. It's going over. Yay! It has this lovely sheeting action. And this will be nice because the birds can still come and drink, the butterflies can still come and drink. That is so lovely. And we're going to go ahead and put a stone around the base to protect it from any gravel or grit or dust that's going to go in. We have the filter there, of course, to protect it too. This is really cool. Okay, the last thing I have to do now is put this river rock over top of it. And this river rock is small, round stones that have been smoothed by the river, hence the term river rock. Sometimes we call them river jacks. I never understood that, but maybe they use them to jack things up or to straighten things out. Anyways, you just put these around here. If they're dusty, you can go ahead and hose them off first or let the rain wash it out. Remember, we have a filter in here. So as you see, the water is cascading down. We have a small little bubble. I've never done this before. I think it turned out really, really good. And I hope you guys enjoyed it too, because it was really an adventure for me. So thank you so much for joining me for Delmarva Gardens right here on Pack 14.